there, Myo family. Welcome back for episode number 2 of the Myo Minute. This week, I'm going to be talking about tongue ties, most importantly, moving from curious to confident. So if you're wondering about it. But first, who am I? I am Carmen Woodland. I'm a myofunctional therapist with a large online global practice, which means I see 100% of my clients online, which allows me to bring this specialized, important therapy to all corners of the globe because there's not somebody like me on every street corner. Okay, so let's get into the episode. So many of you guys are super curious about whether you have a tongue tie or not. You might have seen somebody else talk about working with me. Maybe you've read an article or you've just seen some scuttlebutt. So who knows? But I know a lot of you guys are curious. So many of you guys reach out to me because my practice specializes in tongue ties, and I work with some of the worst tongue ties around the world. Some of my doctors that I partner with globally say, where did these come from? Because we have never seen them this bad. So I'm definitely well versed on this topic. So in this quick video, I'm going to talk about 3 things that you can do if you're curious about having a tongue tie. Okay. Number 1, I encourage you to download the Getting Started guide and complete that self-assessment. So general rule of thumb is if you do this self-assessment and most of the answers are yes, a couple things. Number 1, we know that you've got myofunctional impairment, so you need somebody like me. But also number 2, a lot of those questions just kind of are big red flags for, hey, there's a tongue tie. So I know that if you answer yes to a lot of those questions, then the chances are pretty high that you have a tie. The other really cool thing about this self-identification is you get to see how much ink you put on the paper. So you get to see, before I even point out that there's any concerns, you get to see all of the things that you marked off, like have this, have this, have this, have this, have this, have this. Okay, that self-identification is great because it helps you see the concerns rather than me pointing them out to you. The second thing you can do if you're curious about having a tongue tie is get an exam. This helps answer questions. Until I gather information on you, I am speaking in theory about you, okay? And you guys know that I don't like to do this because I'm smart and I like to appear smart, okay? So once we do an exam that helps answer questions, it also helps me know who needs to be on the team or what needs to be done ahead of time. I did a very involved exam recently and I am nowhere near being the first in line for this particular person. This particular person needs allergist, ENT, sleep study, airway ortho, so many other things that are so important. I'm important, but I have to make sure that I get put in the right place in developing the most comprehensive, the most beneficial plan for you. So that's what an exam does. And then last, I will tell you this, you guys, the third thing I think is so important is don't cut corners, okay? Don't half-ass it. Many of you guys that I meet, we do a consultation, we do an exam with, and you just want to fix the tongue tie right now, or you're going to do some myo from the internet, or you're going to worry about swallowing later. It makes no sense, okay? And this doesn't happen in my practice because I screen out those people who want to half-ass it, who don't want to be optimum. If you're only wanting to deal with the tongue tie right now, but you're going to worry about the swallowing later, that's like getting a new hip and then thinking that you're going to get off your butt and do something next year, okay? Doesn't work because those muscles have to be used. The rehabilitation has to be done right after the tongue tie is released, okay? So we prepare for the range of motion, we got to heal from the release, and then it is rehabilitation time. So cutting corners does nothing for you. And sometimes that ticks people off when I won't even offer them a spot in therapy in my practice because I sleep at night, because I'm not going to wholeheartedly go into helping somebody who doesn't want it as much as I want it for them. The other thing is, I'll find some myo on the internet, and that's fine. What you won't find is the recipe. And I don't know about you guys, but when I'm cooking a recipe, I want to know how it's done, not just the list of ingredients. So typically what you'll find out there on the internet is piecework. I call it piecemeal, because it's not going to be the complete therapy plan. Because when I work with a client, it's very fluid. I don't know exactly where I'm going to take your therapy until I see what your needs are. I worked with somebody this morning who could not do a certain exercise, so I literally had to just dig around up here and find something and create it for her based on what her needs were showing me at that time. So just to think that you're going to go find something on the internet and that's going to be helpful to you, going to be a bad idea. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. I'm going to be talking a lot about tongue ties over the next few weeks, so you'll get a lot more information. To learn more, you can go find a lot of great information on the tongue tie highlight reel on my Instagram, or you can just book yourself an exam, okay? That way we get all the things looked at. You know what my thoughts are, what my recommendations are. I'm going to tell you who else we need on the team, and then we can go from there. Another thing, you guys know this, I don't answer specific case questions about you or a kiddo when you're not a paying client of mine, because those paying clients of mine have provided me information, so I know what I'm talking about. However, if you do have a specific question, remember that you can ask me. Gmail, the10tonguetrainer@gmail. Periodically, I dig in there for questions to answer for you guys right here, so you can do that. And last, really, let's talk about the best place to start, hands down, is an exam. That way you get to sit in front of me, virtually, of course, and we take a deep dive into what's going on. You guys, it's not all about just that tongue tie. It is about your wellness. It's about your digestion. It's about how you're chewing and manipulating food. It's about so many things. For many of you, it's about how you're moving your body, because a lot of people think that just having a tongue tie taken care of is going to solve all the damn problems, and it really isn't, because you've got to unwind the house, if you will. So hands down, the best place to start is to book an exam. That way I can give you some guidance. I actually know something about the case, and I can talk intelligently about it, which is what I like to do. I like to make myself look good, not bad. And so to end, I always like to talk about my favorite resources and share one of them with you. And that, of course, is the Getting Started Guide. So wherever you consume any of my media, you can find the link to download that. Do it, do that self-assessment, and then that's going to really give you a lot of great information, and you're going to know where to move from there. So that is it for this episode, and I will be back next time with a new fun topic to talk about in the Myo Minute. Bye for now.